Speaking of different languages, good luck hosting this movie.
Hey, all you mutant goons from beyond, we're back with an all-new episode, and that's right, this is Goon June. So for all you Goon Juners out there and you Gooners and latecomers and all that, this is the month where you listeners send us basically movies for us to watch. And honestly, I love this because this is where we get like a great grandiose of different style films and stuff. This one is from Leslie Thurman this week. And if none of you have seen it, maybe you guys have heard of it before, but this is The Boxer's Omen from 1983. This one's I've seen this a while ago, but the funny thing is I don't remember it. So thank you, Leslie, for sending it back our way. In fact, I think we even played this on B Movie TV a few years back. Because this is B Movie TV material. And if you don't know, I got one of my favorite movies is The Untold Story. So Hong Kong films have a special place in my heart. Um, but yeah, jumping from Halloween 2, and you guys said, Halloween 2, Rob Zombies is weird. Well, I don't know if you guys are biting your own ass in this one here, but
Buckle
okay,
up.
before we get into the movie here, give me your guys' first impression after you watch this movie, because I pictured this. I'm like, I want to hear what everyone thought. I know Aid was like, what the fuck? I need another shot of Jaeger. So
Well, I to kind of piggyback off what you said earlier, I really like this month because we do things like Halloween 2, which I would have assumed y'all have done before I was even on the show, but turns out y'all didn't. So doing Halloween 2, and because this is going to be the last week of Goon June. So, but I liked it, and we wanted to hit our Patreon members with their recommendations first. And I know we didn't get everybody, so we're gonna have to do it again to get the rest of y'all, because we should be able to get everybody else in the rest in another month of doing this. But yes, so watching this one, my first reaction after I watched it, you know what it reminded me of? Did y'all ever, like, when we were, yeah, we're all, most of us are similar in age. Do you remember like when there used to be E-Bombs World, and there was that video, was like, I don't know where it was from, but it was from a country in Asia, and it was like a weird porn where they were like flying through the bamboos and they were like fucking in the air, and like it was weird, and like tentacles were coming out of whatever. That was my very first intro to like intense, very strange, out of this world, psychedelic, like Asian type cinematography. And that's what this kept reminding me of.
This isn't considered category 3, is it, Doug?
no, it's
No.
not category 3.
So I was expecting that. I was pleasantly surprised when that wasn't there, because I really didn't want to have to, deal, anything to do with the R word or beheading of children or whatnot. But like this movie, it was weird because it was so beautiful at times. Like I was really impressed by the scenery and the set design, and just it was very 80s. It was very 80s. Like if this was filmed in America, like everyone would be dressed like that too. Like it was like his little white suit at the beginning and shit. Like he looked like he walked off the set of Miami Vice, And so I just really enjoyed watching it because it felt, I don't know why it felt American at times, I guess with the wardrobe. And then it just seemed very like grandiose with the backgrounds, and when he's becoming a monk and they're marching with him and they're on the elephant. Like, I mean, I'm looking, what's the budget of this film? So
It would be yen, so we got to convert. We got to
yeah,
do some conversion for you math nerds out there.
It looks
I
high though.
imagine, yeah, I imagine they spent a lot of money on this film, because even some of the stuff that was a little more hokey, I felt fit with the overall tone of the movie, because we're dealing with like these black magicians, right? And all of these unexpected vomit, weird inducing, gator gutting, whatever bullshit going on. So there was a lot of like ups and downs for me, but overall I thought I was gonna hate this, and I liked it, so it was fine.
Is this movie like hits so many like old school fun like martial arts movies with me, like Bloodsport? Somebody wants to say Rocky. For this idea, Bloodsport would be my idea. The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy has that vibe, especially the part where they actually end up in Thailand or Tibet. Like stuff like that. Some of it almost reminds me a little bit of The Last Dragon, which the way some of this the glowing goes, and some of the cool lightning spark, even Big Trouble in Little China. So like for me personally, it's like those movies are homages to this movie. So it's really cool to kind of see it, because it's like, even with the red lighting, I decided to do it because it's an homage for our video. Is like the lighting and some of the stuff they did in this movie were like so like just unlike normal movies. And it was kind of cool because obviously they were known for doing horror. I mean, they say horror, but this is really like fantasy, demons against, monks. I mean, and supposedly this is like the brothers' pinnacle movie. Like this is their oh my god movie. So for me personally, it was fun because I actually had never gotten to see this all the way through. Like I've seen bits and pieces, because I always thought it was a whole different movie sometimes, like for whatever movie I saw. And I was like, saw it all today, I'm like, oh, that makes way more sense, even though it still kind of doesn't. It does. So yeah, but I love this movie in the sense that it's just an homage to a lot of cool stuff. So I wouldn't have gotten seen certain things I thought were rad as I was growing up in certain movies if it wasn't for this movie. So
yeah, there you go. So thank you, Leslie. Yeah.
I will say with this movie, it's always fun to see something that I've never seen in a movie before. And considering everything that's being churned out these days and everything that happens in movies these days, watching this, 83 was how many years ago? Like 40-ish?
Yeah,
Yeah, 40-ish
it'd
years ago?
be 41 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that I haven't seen. And like the little fat chubby bats that were flying around on strings, it was
Oh, they were so cute.
it was cute. And this is kind of why I say it's like their version of the Evil Dead, because if you were just a teenager now and you saw the original Evil Dead, you'd be like, this is stupid. It looks like you're melting a cake. And that's what they're trying to say is gore. But it works. It works for the aesthetic. That's just, I know it's heresy. I don't mean it. I'm just saying that's what the kids would say. But that's how I saw this movie. Like a lot of the stuff was kind of laughable, but like when you're watching the movie and you're in it, like you just accept it for what it is. And I could swear, I probably stayed up a little too late one night when I was a kid with all the crocodile skulls coming to life. I've seen that somewhere. I was like having like flashbacks when I was like, where have I seen this before? But it would have only been like that little couple seconds.
I don't know. For me, like when I was watching this, they saved a lot of money on the special effects because they just hired the kindergartners to do arts and crafts projects.
You don't like the bat, the little bat that was sort of walking by itself.
Yeah, yeah,
like, yeah. And it was running when it was running away from me.
And the guy's like, "Get back here!" It's like, "Yeah, he's going real fast,
like
guy."
Me when I first got on the treadmill, but but I liked it, and there's. Because we have the bat, obviously we're making fun, but there's also like a scorpion counterpart, a spider counterpart. Like they have all these little animals and stuff, and like the only real, I don't know if this is considered CGI because this is the 80s, but like the fire and stuff they have in the back going on, what is that called? Is that CGI?
No, it's like superimposing. It's like they film something and put it
yeah, which I much prefer that.
Which is very cartoonish, actually, in certain movies. Like that's again, I don't know who ripped off whom in that situation, because a lot of times China and Hong Kong being the same, obviously. I know
they're the same.
That's what I said.
No, don't tell them that.
I know.
Mainlander.
Yeah, I know. I said it separately, but I knew Abe was gonna chime in there and tell me that's the city in the country. I know.
She get her degree.
No, trust me.
Like, degree in every fucking thing.
It's still like that now. When I went to Hong Kong, if you mentioned that you were from mainland China and you're from Hong Kong, you're like a third. I don't know. That's how they're like, oh, we don't want those.
Yeah, they consider it separate.
Over here. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So that's depicted in the film as well. So
yeah. One of my favorite scenes, honestly, from this movie is when the witch comes up to the main, I guess, godlike character, or it's basically the guy goes into a Buddha form or something like that, almost like a Saiyan, kind of Dragon Ball Z type scenario, where he like rips the skin off. You know what I mean? Like for back then, you know what I mean? Just having another costume underneath that skin costume, so where it shows the veins and like it's the muscle, but you mean what they could do for back then. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you take that same idea today, with AI or whatever, CGI or however, or
Drag
classic,
without AI. It's called a reveal.
Yeah, it wasn't very much of a reveal.
You mentioned it earlier, and I don't know who they are, and so maybe I'm assuming there's going to be a handful of people who don't know who the Shaw brothers are. So do you want to give a quick little?
Yeah, so if you want some stuff from the Shaw brothers, they're brothers, not like the Weinsteins, but so Shaw brothers, they were producing a bunch of movies in the 70s, even late 60s. Basically, like the largest production company in Hong Kong at first. And it went, actually, no, it even went earlier, 1925 to 2011. So they were around when the Three Stooges were around. And there's three of them, so they were their own Three Stooges. There's Run Ji, Run Me, and Run They. Yeah, they were from
Nice.
Shanghai, and yeah, they basically pushed all the films that you know nowadays. I just want to, I don't want to step over my own words here, but I think they're the ones that introduced Jackie Chan as well too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
worked with one of them, and later films and stuff like that. There's a couple other. I actually was watching the movie with like a commentary as well. So like he was explaining like some of the other movies, that the connections for the like Hong Kong's horror based ideals to the Shan brothers, and he was even talking about how some of their martial arts / horror stuff, and then they're just plain horror stuff. As in that box that you were talking about, and he was like, "Yeah, I want it, but at the same time, it's like really expensive." Remember, because you see that guy when they crush the thing, and there's like a rotting corpse inside the vase or whatever. That's an actual real thing. That's an actual like meditation. It's supposed to be meditation for life. It's supposed to they live forever, and they actually slowly don't feed themselves in this I don't want to say cultural thing, or maybe it is like, but it's
Ritual.
yeah, it's like it's ultimate like Zen that most Buddhists go to, or this one group of Buddhists anyways, and they put themselves in a thing and they just slowly die, and when the bell rings, that means they're in their state of consciousness, but it's basically they've died in this one's position, and then they basically drink how do you say it, the stuff for when you're dead, and you're like a mummy basically.
Oh,
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde.
yeah,
Yes.
formaldehyde, yeah.
If I hadn't randomly saw that on some weird late night thing where I was high, like I legitimately like would have not known about it, but like watching it, I'm like, oh shit, that's basically what they're doing. Is he's in a state of consciousness and he's in this state of Zen, and it's actually within this movie. I mean, they're talking about in '83. I mean, they still do this, I think, to this day. It's a little frowned upon.
They do. Yeah, it's frowned upon now. It's actually illegal to do, so they'll arrest the monks. But yeah, they put you like in this little container, and you just turn into a mummy underground.
For like while you're alive.
While you're alive, yeah, it's like the ultimate form of peace.
So it's like
honestly, it's a
suicide.
good way to get out of taxes. Like
It
I'm
is.
Like, fuck it.
Well, I have no idea how I'm editing this episode because I don't know where we are with the story. So
I really
this
don't
makes
either.
sense because that's how this movie was. I'm like, where the fuck are we?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed us gooning all over the place, squirting our goon June juice all over the walls here with the UV lights. But yeah, that was a fun one. So thank you, Leslie. You know, anytime you want to give us options, please do.
Thank you,
know,
Leslie.
Yeah, and I know, Leslie, you're a big fan of the titty videos of the week. So on Ken's show, if Saturdays at 8 p.m., tune into the titty videos and livid videos. Leslie's a good follower for that. Plus, you can see awesome movies like The Boxers Only.